Okay. So, as promised, we're doing a test between a couple of different setups from different setup shops. So, we've got Maconi set up for here and got the OSR set up for here. As it turns out, Craig's setup shop does not make any super late models. I don't think they even make the late model setups. They're kind of limited. They're more of a road series, but they've got trucks, Xfinity, and Cub, so it's kind of hit and miss on what you can get from them. So this one we'll run first. Actually, we'll run the OSR setup first. Southern National season 2024. That is from today. So we'll run that setup first. What we're going to do is just start off, run 10-15 laps, see how each setup runs. I'll give my comments as I go. I will probably end up going back and doing a truck comparison tomorrow so we can have more setup shop comparisons. And we'll delve into different prices and whatnot versus what you can get. So we'll start with this setup from OSR. OSR usually has, for some series, 2, 3, 4 different setups from 2 or 3, 4 other different setup makers. Super late models oftentimes have only one. Versus Maconi's puts out one setup that their whole team works to make sure it's balanced across numerous drivers, styles, whatever, so that you have one setup. Kind of simplifies things by doing it that way. Of course, it's also simple if OSR only has one. So I like Southern National. It's a fun track. I don't know if we'll get the race in there today or not. Haven't decided what races I will get done today yet. We'll just get the tires warmed up. And keep in mind that I am not the best driver and your results may vary. I am just giving my 2 cents. Oops. Just running laps and seeing how hard I can push it when I get back on the throttle, when I get back. Yeah, that was all driver error. Okay. Hitting the wall is definitely not going to help this test, so we'll reset with a fresh car. Trying to use as little brake as possible on these and get that entry down. may end up with a second video this week. It's helpful if we end up doing this for like truck series. Now we're starting to pick up a little speed on entry. I'm going to start pushing a little more on exit. Now we're getting some grip. Alright. Let's run 2 or 3 more and then we'll go try the Makoni setup and see where we're at. And granted, this is solely based on my driving style and my opinions. So and we'll look at, once we've done both runs, we'll look at lap times and I'll give my 2 cents. I believe that gives us 10 laps. Alright, to change setups. Looks like we got 93, 93, 98 on the right front. That'll be worth knowing. And that was the OSR, so now we'll go to the Makoni setup. Alright, give me just a moment here. I'm trying to take care of a problem. Okay. Go. Now we've got a Makoni setup loaded. And I'm not comparing lap times yet. We'll just see where the fastest is and then look at tire pressures and then so we're pulling out on lap 18. Can tell you that this setup is made for Made for both short and long runs. Because when you're on the short run, you'll be packed up, and in the long run, as tires wear, that higher gear will definitely come in handy. Fresh tires, I'm hitting the rev limiter just past the halfway point of the backstretch. Old tires, it would run me to the end of the straightaway. Last season, when I ran here, I don't think I actually, I did one race where I changed tires after a wreck. And I think that this season there's no tire changes, so this setup is actually ideal for a longer racer. So if you were using the OSR, you'd definitely have to change the gear ratio. Whoops. Driver error. Looks like we might have grazed the wall there. I didn't even realize it. Alright. Let's go take a look at our lap times. Thanks, John. So, first we'll go look at the tire pressures. 93, 93, 98. About the same as the others. About the same as the other setup. However, let's go look at the... So, our fastest lap was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th lap on the Marconi setup. So, what is... That was a 14.6. 14.8 was the fastest on the OSR setup. So, and you can see that these lap times are much more consistent, and you can also see where I screwed up. So the takeaway from that, and obviously since there was only 2 available setups, the takeaway I would say is between Marconi and OSR, I would definitely go with the Marconi setup. OSR is are free, but they do ask that you donate if you're going to use them regularly, which you definitely should if you're going to use them regularly. Marconis are $5 a setup, but you can get bundles and packages to cover half a season, a whole season, and get a decent savings from that. And you definitely, obviously, at least from this experiment, I would be personally benefited by running their setups, which I probably will. I'll definitely be running it this week. And we'll definitely try and get a test with some trucks in tomorrow, just to get a little bit broader spectrum. I'd hoped I went to about a half dozen different sources, but getting super late model, and some of these other setup SK mods, Wayland Tour mods, some of those that a lot of people like to do, not a lot of people put out setups for. And definitely for those series, I would definitely say run a Marconi setup. anytime I'm running a Makoni setup, it will be I will put their logo up so you'll know. And then, like I said, tomorrow we'll do a test run of truck setups and see what we get there as well. So hopefully that was a little bit of information. Remember, your results may vary, but I would definitely take if you have the opportunity, test it yourself. Depending on what series you're running, Craig's is obviously a paid service, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can get that free. I did a video on that. OSR is free, but they would ask that you donate, and you definitely should if you're going to use them regularly. There's other groups out there, but depending on what series you're running, definitely before you commit to paying for anything, make sure they have the series you're running. Makoni's has, I think, every oval. OSR has most ovals and some dirt. And I think they're getting into road in the near future. And they also the only place I've found that has Pro 2 and Pro 4 setups. So if that's something you're hugely into and you are actually good at it, it's definitely worth checking them out for that. So that is just my 2 cents on setups. Like I said, I'll do trucks tomorrow to get a wider variety and a little bit more um, information. But for the super late models, I'll definitely be running the Makoni setup for at least for this season, just to see. I finished 5th in my division last season. I've struggled the first part of this season, but I'm thinking that this might be the turning around point. Hopefully, I've struggled all of season 4 though, so let's be honest. So anyway, that's setup comparisons at how to suck at iRacing.